Hello. Hello. I'm back for another video. Today I wanted to talk about and talk to people who are anxiously attached and have attachment issues, because I feel like now that I am away from college, my attachment issues have been really bad. You go from seeing certain people every day of your life. I mean, these people begin to feel like your brothers and your sisters, and you don't see them anymore. And for someone who's like very much like puts like 100% of herself into like the relationships she has with other people, and I feel like for me, once I like find that I like talking to someone, or that I feel like I have kind of like a vibe going with them, I want to talk to them like every day. That's just how I am. I call like the same group of friends like every day, text them every day, and I'm very just like attached to those relationships that I build in my life, and because I put so much of myself into them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just want to preface by saying there's nothing wrong with that at all. A lot of people are like that. I'm like that. And but it's really important to understand that not everyone has the same communication style as you, because I know for me personally, I have some friends who aren't really on their phone as much and don't really like messaging, and for me, I start overthinking when someone doesn't pick up the phone or someone isn't responding to me. I start thinking, oh, did I do something that annoyed them? Am I too much? Like, did I piss them off? And it really is just that they're busy or they're at work, and it's like, it never is that serious. And I feel like, especially at this age, at least the friends I have, if something was wrong, they would come to me and they would tell me. And so it is just really difficult. I understand that for like people with attachment issues to, understand that not everyone's going to be on that same wavelength, and that doesn't mean that they're bad friends. It just means they have different communication styles, and it's just important to talk about that and how that makes you feel with your friends. And yeah, and I'm just really lucky that I have friends who give me that like reassurance that I need. I feel like for me, my love language, or not even like my love language, my like relationship language that I like to receive is just reassurance, because I'm often in the state of feeling like I'm too much, or I'm like annoying other people by talking to them. And like my biggest fear is that everyone like secretly hates me. So just getting that, periodic reassurance that, everything's cool, and, that there's nothing wrong. I really value that in people who are patient with me. And so it's just really important to find those people who are patient with you, because just remember that you're never too much for the right people. And if you are communicating with someone that's your communication style, and that you don't expect constant replies, but every once in a while, if you just want to know like if you're cool with them, and if they could just shoot you a message, or just be honest, like if you have annoyed them, to just be straight up with that. Like, if they can't respect that, then maybe you just need to come to the point where it's just like, maybe we just clash, and it's not really your fault or their fault. It's just sometimes some people are avoidant, some people are busy, so it just you need to decide how willing you are to push for that relationship, and you also really need to decide how much of yourself you're willing to sacrifice for certain relationships in your life. And I know for me, I've been trying to work on confrontation and expressing my feelings, and asking for that clarification or that reassurance. And it is a very difficult thing to do, and learn how to put yourself out there to ask someone, like, hey, like, are we cool? Or, hey, like, if you don't feel like we're vibing, just let me know and I will step back, because I just don't want it to be an unhealthy environment for my mental health, in an environment where you feel like it's overbearing for you. And so that's kind of what I've been trying to work on recently, is just communicating those feelings with people, and once you see their response, reacting accordingly. And sorry, like, I've been having really bad allergies. But yeah. And I think also something that's really big is we have an urge to change people. Not in the sense of their personality, but in their communication style. I think we think that if we talk to someone and we tell them, hey, I feel like you're not answering me enough, that they're automatically just gonna start consistently replying, and that's not how it works. You cannot change people. You can grow together, you can express your emotions, you can work to understand each other's boundaries and maybe come to compromises that work for both of you. But at the end of the day, ultimately, you cannot change people. They can only change themselves. So you need to realize that just because you're communicating your emotions, you can't expect someone to change how they are and their whole communication style for you. And I think that's something that is really important. And you just need to realize if that communication style is clashing so much with yours, then maybe it's not a healthy relationship to keep in your life. And it's no shade to them. It's just ultimately you need to do what's best for your mental health, and just let them know, communicate, be honest. And if you feel like it's just stressing you out more than it's doing you a service, or you feel like you're both just unhealthy for each other and it's just clashing too much, then there's nothing wrong with growing apart from someone. There's nothing wrong with taking a break from someone if neither of you are bringing positivity into each other's lives. And so I think it's important to just communicate your emotions, especially as an anxiously attached person, and make sure you ask for clarity, and just think about, your mental health and how much you're willing to sacrifice to make relationships work. Because the last thing you want to do is look like an idiot like me messaging someone to give you clarity and refusing to take silence as a response because you just need to hear it. Sometimes you just got to understand that it just doesn't work. The communication styles aren't working. Your personalities don't vibe together, and it's not you. It might not even be them. Obviously, I believe in maturity, and I don't really believe in this whole dropping hints thing. I really think that if you don't vibe with someone, you should just tell them, because I think it's a really shitty thing to keep someone wondering, or the whole ghosting culture. I don't really like that either, because, again, anxious people their minds really go wild. You could be the difference between someone, you know, loving themselves and hating themselves one day. And I think that's a really shitty thing to not take that into account. But again, some people just aren't emotionally there thinking about that. But again, ask for clarity, do what you can in your control, and if you get no response, that is the response. It's not going to work, and stop sacrificing yourself and your dignity for those people. But yeah, you're not crazy. Don't think you're crazy. You're human. There's so many people like this. Again, I'm like this, and it's just important to, you know, let people know and to take into account that not everyone's going to be on that same wavelength with you, and you're just going to have to find a way to compromise or just decide that that relationship isn't right for you in your life at this moment. Bye.